Hi, and welcome to another video by Get It Done Home Repairs. Today we're going to talk about putting up a towel rack. If you buy in a big box store, if you buy a towel rack and it's too long, we're going to cut this towel rack down about 4 inches so that we can put it here over a sink, so that way it won't interfere with anything else. Alright, these are the ends that are going to be attached to it here and here. But we're going to cut 4 inches off of this. So before we cut this, let me show you what kind of tools we're going to need, and then we're going to get started and get this job done. Alright, so this is an example of the tools that we're going to need. We're going to need a stud finder to locate any studs that may be in the wall itself over here. We're going to need a hacksaw with a very fine tooth blade so we can cut this rod here itself without scratching it or doing any damage to it. We're going to need some kind of an instrument to measure so we can center it over the top of the sink itself. We're going to need a Phillips head screwdriver, a pencil, a drill to drill holes in the wall, a hammer to tap the mollies into the wall once we put the hole in there, and an assortment of drill bits. Now, a lot of times the towel racks will come with the mollies itself to mount it, but if it does not, you can buy it in a big box store, and you can use what they have in the store to mount it up. But this one did come with the mollies, and it did come with the screws. But the first thing we're going to do is we're going to find out what drill bit we need to install a molly. And the way I always do it is you just take your set of drill bits and just take out a drill bit and see if your molly fits into it. It doesn't fit into here, so we're not going to use this one. Well, we're going to try to get one that's fairly close, where it's almost the exact same size, and as you can see, the tip of this molly fits in there, so that's the one we're going to use. So this is the bit we're going to use. We're going to put these off to the side here, and we'll put this into our drill, and we'll put our holes in the wall. But the first thing we're going to do is we're going to cut this down to the size that we want it. I want to take 4 inches off of here, so let me take everything out of the way here. I put half a piece of wood that we're going to cut this on top of so we don't damage the area we're going to be working in, and then we're going to cut off that 4 inches. So let me get set up and we'll come right back. And as you can see now, we have a nice clean cut where it's going to go into the end piece, just like this. Alright, so let's set this up on the wall here. We're going to measure where we want to put it, and then we're going to put the ends on like this and like this. We're going to measure now where we want to put it. We're going to put the marks on the wall, and then once we have the marks on the wall, we'll come back and we'll actually hang it up. Okay, so most likely this one here is going to be a stud. A lot of times these things are not 100% accurate either, but we're assuming there's going to be a stud here, and there should be no stud here. But just to play it safe, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a very small drill bit, and I'm going to drill a small hole in here, 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 and here, just to make sure we have no beams behind it. Alright, so we're going to use a very small little bit. Okay, this one we have a beam behind it. And this one we have a beam behind it as well. So we're just going to put a slight little hole in the beam for the screw to screw into. Now let's try this one over here. And that one you can see that there is no stud behind that one. Let's try this one. And we know there's no stud behind that one either. Alright, so now that we know that there's a stud behind this and there is no stud behind this, we now can make this one to the right a little bit bigger to accommodate the mollies. Okay. Got to clean off any kind of debris that's there. We're going to take our two mollies like this. You put it in the wall here, just like this. We'll get it started. Then we're going to take our hammer and just tap it in till this part on the top here is flush with the wall. So we're going to tap it in. Just remember that it's always better to drill the hole a little bit smaller than a little bit bigger, because this way the molly holds in there nice and tight. We'll tap this in. Alright, so they're in all the way now. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take our end and we're going to screw it on. Now you can either screw it in by hand or you can screw it in with an electric drill, whichever you prefer. We're just going to catch this one in here for now. We're not going to tighten it up yet. And then we're going to do the same thing on the bottom. We're going to push that up against the wall and we're going to catch this in here as well. Okay, so now that's all mounted up. This is going to go in here like that. We're going to take our other end that we have here. We're going to put it on like this, and now we'll catch those two screws. And remember, they're going to be screwing into a beam, so it's going to be a little bit more difficult.
Can you use a drill?
Yes. You can use a screwdriver like this, or you could use an electric screwdriver. Such as this. Just hold it where you want it. Okay, or you can do it by hand as well. I do prefer going in by hand because this way here you're not going to over tighten it and break anything. Okay, and that's our towel rack. It's all set. And we'll just throw our towel over the top like that, and that's it. It's all done. All right, that's obviously a towel for a work area, of course. It's not a good towel, but that's how you put the towel bar up. All right, again, it's personal preference whether you do it with a screwdriver or you do it with a electric screwdriver. Like I said, I do prefer doing it by hand because that way you don't crack anything or damage it or strip anything out. All right, but that's it. This job is done and it's on to the next one. All right, as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.